بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطاهرين لا سيما الكهف الحصين وغياث المضطر المستكين الحجة ابن الحسن فداه أرواح العالمين واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أبد الآبدين ودهر الداهرين. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكن أرضك طاعة وتعافية طويلة. أخ مبين تعال هنا اقعد ما نشوفك احنا صاير حائل بيننا وبينك. So if we want to know God, we don't have any way to know God. This is one of the differences between معارف أهل البيت and human beings معارف. They said you must know God. How? Yes, I can understand when I go back to my wisdom, intellect, that this creation needs a creator. But how can I know him? Know his name, talk to him, see what he wants of me. I don't have any road to that. So what is the road to that? Allah himself. I can beg for his ma'rifah, nothing more, nothing less. And he did that for us. As we read in some verses, صبغة الله ومن أحسن من الله صبغة. The painting of God, who paints better than God? And Imam explained that صبغهم بالتوحيد. He colored them with Tawheed. So he introduced himself to us. So why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought this expression, Wallahu al-alim, according to my understanding. While I'm fasting, I don't want to say anything wrong. You know? Probably because you can see the color. I cannot see the construction, I can see the color. You know, I can't see the foundation. When you come to Tawheed, you can see the color of Tawheed. When they get trapped, they say, Ya Allah. So I cannot penetrate his heart, but I can see his action. And Tawheed is like actions. أقول لك يا أخي أحمد شو ذول الجهال لا يروحون برا بس كلهم خلي يجون هنا. So no way. I want to have a way. Listen, I've written and taught Tawheed, written books and Tawheed. Really, I couldn't find a way to know God. I would say read dua and he will introduce himself to you. I would say pray. I would say if you get trapped, yeah. But I can't say that you can find God. How you can find it? He was not lost, so you can find him. You already know him. Yes, according to our fitra. What is fitra? Innate. Innate, yeah. According to our innate, we know him. So it's not that without his interference that I can know him. No. If I know him because I have the innate, because of what he did, not that I can find him. This is exactly what is ascribed to Imam al-Hussein. متى غبت حتى تحتاج إلى دليل يدل عليك. You're not ghaib, you're حاضر, shahid. You don't need any evidence. This is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran. قالت رسلهم أفي الله شك فاطر السماوات والأرض يدعوكم ليغفر لكم ويأخركم إلى أجل مسمى. This is one of the verses that I made them remember of by heart, these kids.
But isn't an avenue as well يعني الأنبياء والمرسلين?
They only remind you. They don't create the ma'rifah in your heart. That's why Allah tells the Prophet قل الله ثم ذرهم. That's why Allah tells the Prophet إنما أنت مذكر. You only remind them.
زواج الذكر.
Yeah. أرسلنا إليكم رسولا ذكرا. He only reminds you. He's not creating the ma'rifah in your heart. Allah did that. Nobody can do that. I can introduce myself to you. You can introduce yourself to me. I cannot introduce you to others. You are the one who has the right and the capability of introducing yourself. Not as my name is Ahmed or Abbas, as your feeling. Can I talk about your feeling? No. I don't know your feeling. تعلم ما في نفسي ولا أعلم ما في نفسك. This is in Quran. You know my inner side. I don't know your inner side. أنا بسوي شنجاي. خلاص. You got me? Sadie can close the door. As long as somebody's with them. Do you want the air condition? تعلم ما في نفسي ولا أعلم. If I don't know your inner side, how can I introduce you by your inner side? If I can't see God, can't smell Him, can't touch Him, how can I create His ma'rifah in my heart? I cannot. That's very rational, isn't it? Is it rational or not? Very rational. So, will we know God? Yes, we know God. Exactly. But we are not doing that ma'rifah. We are not gaining that ma'rifah. We're using that ma'rifah that Allah put in our hearts. It's a big difference. And that's why we have problem with philosophies and philosophers. Because they come and they try to invent a God in your mind. We say what was invented is not God. As Imam Al-Baqir says, according to some narrations, كلما ميزتموه في أوهامكم في أدق معاني فهو مخلوق مثلكم مردود إليكم. Whatever you invent by your mind, in your mind, and you say, okay, this is God, this is Lord, and they are owned by Lord. This is Khaliq, and these are makhluk. In my mind, invent. It's a makhluk like you, was created by you. This is not a God. Actually, you are better than him. Because of you, he is in your mind. Mardudu, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will slap you with that on your face. So what is God? You tell me what is God. I'll let you know. God is the one that we all know. Even Pharaoh. آمنت بما آمنت به بنو إسرائيل. How? الآن وقد كفرت قبل. الآن وقد كفرت قبله. He was about to get drawn. He said, I believe in what Israelite believed in. Angel Jibreel said, now? Have you heard this narration? Which narration? No. When Allah descended this verse upon the Prophet, Jibreel told the Prophet that when he was about to draw, he said, Amantu, I told him now? And then I said, why? I said that. Probably Allah is not pleased with that. And Allah kept me all of that time until He descended this verse upon you, in a vague situation. I don't know what I did was right, what I did was wrong. Until Allah descended this verse, I realized, no problem. Allah is not unhappy with me. So Allah even makes Angel Jibreel fear Him. So am I allowed? No. Okay, let's be more realistic. Can I? No. Can I let you know God? Of course not. I only can remind you. Who did this to you? Who did that to you? Yusuf forgot. Allah mentions that in Quran. قال للذي ظن أنه ناج منهما. He told the one who had the hope to get rescued, get out of the prison. اذكرني عند ربك. Mention me when you meet your Lord. فأنساه الشيطان ذكر ربه. When Yusuf told that to that person, Angel Jibreel was descended on Yusuf when he left that person. Okay, good, great. Yusuf, who helped you from your auntie's hand? Who helped you from your brothers? Who helped you out of the well? Who helped you this? Who helped you that? The narration, I can remember, said that Yusuf started to take sands and put it in his mouth. He said, God, 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 Allah. He said, now you're seeking help of somebody other than God. Who helped you from Egyptians? What ladies? Arab ladies, Egyptians back then. Was the interference of Allah? Really? Let's be realistic. Allah helped him. So he did not get dirty intentionally or unintentionally. Who helped you? Who helped you that they didn't kill you? Poison you, is what I'm saying. So now you're seeking help of somebody other than Allah. So stay. Stay there for a while. I can remember my uncle said once, when I was a kid, he actually brought that piece of analyze or information of somebody else that اذكرني عند ربك in Hebrew is this, and Allah let him stay in prison for 9 more years or 7 more years. So each word 1 year. يعني 7 أحرف 7 سنين. 9 أحرف 9 سنين. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not confident, to be honest. I need to see whether in Hebrew is that or not. I don't know. I don't know Hebrew. So, or Hebrew as they say. So, who is God? Is the one that you know. Can you introduce him to me? No. I only can remind you. So it's like a money that you have in your account, that I don't have any access to that money or to that account. I only can remind you that you have money already, it's in your account. Can I transfer any money to you? No, it's blocked. I cannot. I don't know the number of that account. Can I do anything about it? Of course not. Can you do? No, nothing. I only can remind you. You already have it. Okay, let's do another fake account. And instead of give you money, let's give you cryptocurrency. Fake cryptocurrency. It's fake. Exactly. If you want to create a ma'rifah of Allah in somebody's heart, it's fake. It's fake account. Fake money, fake cryptocurrency. It's BS. Literally. How? And then they say, okay, how the Prophet used to bring evidence to the vast majority of people that Allah is existing? No, he used to say, قُولُوا لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ تُفْلِحُوا. What is your evidence? Let me see your book. What is your philosophical books? Evidence, argument. You don't need that, you know. You know that. If somebody comes to a person who was born in Australia, lived here for 80 years, and tries to tell him, yes, I'm going to prove to you that you're allowed to live in this land permanently. He says, wow, so what? I know that. Does somebody need to bring evidence that this person has the right? No, he was born here. He lived here, studied here. He knows. So I only can, if you forget, I only can remind you. Nothing more, nothing less. I only can remind you that you have an account, you have money at your account, sitting, waiting for you to use. You know God. You only need to open your mouth and ask Him for His interference, and He will help you. I cannot help you. Okay, who is God? What do you mean, who is God? You want to see Him, touch Him, smell Him? That's impossible. But you know Him already. And that's why we have in one of our narrations, تعرفه به لا بنفسك من نفسك إنما تعرفه به. You don't invent, you don't bring. Actually, you know Him by His introduction, how He introduced Himself to you. Correct? بك يا من دل على ذاته بذاته وتنزه عن what? مجانسة مخلوقاته. His essence is different to us. This is exactly, it's slapping a big slap on the face and mouth of all Sufism and Sufis. وتنزه. Thank you very much. And you know, there is a sheikh called Rahmatullah alayh. We have some differences in our opinion with him, but he was a great student, a student of Sayyid al-Sistani, who wrote Mashra'at al-Bihar. Asaf Muhsin. What he says, he's a very smart person. And once I was, just, you know me, but I defended him once. Because I read an article, or actually a discussion with him. He said, listen, Mashra'at al-Bihar was not a complete job. I only talked about the chain of hadith. This is not my ideology. And he said, if in any chapter I find 3 narrations talking about the same thing, even if the chain of those 3 narrations are weak, I would say that that's proven. But I didn't do that in Mashra'at al-Bihar. And then he said, or if the saying is so strong, you don't need a chain. And then he brought this example. Ya man dalla ala dhatihi bidhatihi. He said, who can talk like that but the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib? He said, we don't need a chain. He's right. When you go to the Anud, but is the chain strong? Okay, give me a scholar can talk like that. Ibn Abi can talk like that? How? Go to his supplications and see. He asks for wine and winery. If I go to some people, you know, those who hallucinate and talk about ishq and things like that, God is my ma'shuq. What do you mean is your ma'shuq? Can you talk like that about your mom? Show some respect. That's why Imam was asked about ishq. He said, Inna qawman, according to a narration, that they did not pay attention to Allah, His orders, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left them to themselves. So no, I'm not accusing everyone. Some people might bring this phrase, but they don't mean it. Okay? But I mean, okay, you're not allowed to call Allah Ya Ma'shuq. It's not the name of Allah. And I have ishkal on all of those Persian poems that when they say, oh Hussein, you gave me from your wine and I'm intoxicated with your love. What are you talking about? No, we have that in our poem. No, you don't have that in your poem. You're not allowed to say something like that about Imam Hussein. I always say that. Mayo Bordeaux. I'm intoxicated. You can't talk like that with Imam Hussein. This is Imam Hussein. If Angel Jibreel wants to talk to him, he has to seek the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to talk to Imam Hussein. And then you say, yeah, I love him. What do you mean you love him? If you love him, you have to respect him. Like Habib ibn Mudahir. Like Ali al-Akbar. If you love him, you have to respect him. This is the first step of loving somebody. So how can I invent? How can I know God? You can't. Full stop. That's it. Bye-bye. Well, I know him. Yes, because he introduced himself to you. And all of those verses that talking about إذا مس الإنسان ضر, any human being, if he gets a big slap by an ordeal, دعانا لجنبه while he's laying down, أو قائما while standing, أو قاعدا, even when he sits. فإذا كشفنا عنه ضره, when we help him interfere, مر كأن لم يدعنا إلى ضر مسه, he passes as if he doesn't know us while he knows us very well. How he knows us very well? Because Allah introduced himself to him and to us and to everyone. This is important. And dua bi Hamza Thumali, when you go, بك عرفتك وأنت دللتني عليك ولولا أنت لم أدري ما أنت. By you, I know you. And you guide me to yourself. And if it wasn't that you introduced himself to me, I wouldn't be able to know you. ولولا أنت لم أدري ما أنت. And then they say, why are you against philosophy? Because they don't introduce God to you. God damn it. They create a picture of something in your head and tell you to worship that. This is exactly what shirk means. So you have a fundamental problem with them. The same problem that I have with Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl. They were worshipping idols. At least you would be able to see the idols. And they are creating an idol in their mind and worshipping that idol. And the same problem that I have with Shaykhiyya, who put Ahlul Bayt and prostrate toward Ahlul Bayt and say that Ahlul Bayt are gods. Because I cannot know God, that's why I have to worship them. And they said that. And I actually debated with one of them. He's my friend, but he just was debating. He said, I told him, you mean that? In front of my teacher, Sheikh Baqir al-Huda. He wrote a book and he gave it to me. I said, no, Shaykhana, if he publishes this book, I will write a book and I will debunk all of his misconceptions. And suddenly the argument got heated in front of my teacher, Allama Sheikh Baqir al-Huda. And I told him, tell me. He said, we cannot know God. That's why we talk to Ahlul Bayt, because they represent. I told him, do you aim Imam Ali when you say إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ? He said, yes. I told him, you're shirk and mushrik. I thought, this is literally shirk. And then I wrote big comments on his book, sent it to him. He said, yeah, I considered your comments. I told him, so what did you do? You only changed some phrases. He started to laugh. I said that you didn't consider my comments. He said, what should I do? I told him, just don't publish the book and correct your aqidah. If somebody says that I worship Ali ibn Abi Talib because I cannot know God, he's a mushrik. Whether he likes it or dislikes it. He's saying it's shirk. Probably he doesn't have that aqidah. But that's another thing. Don't be so tough. I'm not very tough. This is exactly what Allah says in the Quran. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Allah won't joke with His dignity.